Hi everyone, this is Anjali Patel, registered dietitian with Then Food and Nutrition, and today we are making tofu scrambles. Chef Leslie is going to come on in just a minute. Now I'm going to demonstrate tofu scrambles with garam masala, so a more Indian style flavoring. With tofu you can pretty much flavor it whatever you want. So this is a firm tofu, but you can get extra firm, and you might be able to skip this step that I'm about to show you. This is firm, so I'm going to press it and remove even more water. So you want to take it out of the package and drain the water as much as you, whatever's in the package, and then put it in, if you have one of these you can use it. If you don't, then no problem. I didn't have one of these for a long time. I just have it because somebody gave it to me as a gift, and so I use it. But before that, you can put it in a deep plate, a deeper dish, put another plate on top, and then stack some books on top, and that will do the trick as well. Okay, so now that my tofu is pressed and firm, I'm going to take a masher and just mash it up. And it will look like scramble. So this is kind of a good alternative if you don't eat eggs, or you don't, and you want to eat a scrambled egg. This is a great way to make scrambles without using egg. And again, you can flavor it with pretty much anything you want because it's relatively flavorless. So I'm going to make mine with garam masala and Indian spices. And this has a little bit of fiber, but we're going to add a lot of vegetables in it as well to give it even more fiber. So lots of protein, lots of fiber, and micronutrients as well. So I put a little bit of oil in the pan, and I'm going to pop some cumin seed. So you could use ground cumin if that's what you have. This is ground, and this is the cumin seed. I like to use cumin seed in some of my egg type recipes, tofu recipes. I just like the flavor that it has, and it's when it's popped. So I'm gonna pop it in the oil. A little bit of that. And I'm gonna put a little bit of turmeric in there, right in the oil too, to release some of those flavors from the turmeric. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's starting to sizzle a little bit. So I'm going to add the onions and the garlic. And first the onions, because the garlic will burn. It burns really quickly, so first onions. So I'm going to add the garlic actually with the bell pepper. And I'm going to put a little peas in here too. These are frozen peas. Just going to add a little bit of that. Could be any vegetable. You could do mixed vegetables. You could do anything. You can clean out your fridge and put whatever vegetables you have. Any vegetable will do. 1 cup of the vegetables will give you plenty of fiber for this dish. Okay, so this has been cooking for a few minutes, and at this point we can add the tofu. Now, I haven't added any salt to any of this yet, so the salt I will add in at the end, and that's just to taste. But I will add a little bit of salt because tofu comes unsalted, and so it needs a little bit. It's definitely just one of those things where you can add it to your taste. And then, so after the tofu's in, you can saute it for a little bit. And while that's sauteing a bit, you can add the garam masala. So usually I like to add the garam masala at the end of the cooking. And one last thing I like to add, and now this is optional, but I like to add a little tomato product. And since I have a little bit of pasta sauce left over in the fridge, I don't have that much, not much I can do with how much I have. So I usually just throw it into cooking at this point. And the pasta sauce that I I recommend are the ones that have no added sugar. So if you look at the ingredients, you won't find sugar on the label, but also on the nutrition facts panel, you'll see 4 grams of sugar from that, and that's from the tomatoes themselves, but no added sugar. So 0 grams of added sugar. And that's what you want to look for when you're looking for pasta sauce. So I'll just add a little bit of this at the end and just kind of mix it in. And this will add a little umami, a little flavor, a little salt. What I like to do is warm up some corn tortilla on the side and throw it in a corn tortilla with a little bit of sauce, any sauce that you have. Chutney would work, and have it like that. So it's very versatile. You could also add in lentils if you like. If you want to add in a handful of lentils, that would go in here very well. And so here you have it. Chef Leslie, what are you doing over there in your kitchen?
Hey Anjali, it's Leslie. How are you? Yes, tofu scrambles in the kitchen. So I remember going through a phase last summer where I would take 3 ingredients, tofu, tomatoes, and spinach. And then I would just change the flavor profile depending on my mood. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do an Italian version of this, and then I'm going to follow that up with kind of a Mexican flavored version and taste them side by side. I think you've got the Indian version going, Anjali. I will see you back in your kitchen. So for the Italian one, I'm going to start with a little bit of olive oil and some crushed garlic and saute that. We're going to get the garlic just a little bit brown, but you want to make sure not to overcook it. And then from there, I'm going to add in some crumbled tofu. And we're going to put the tomatoes and spinach in this as well. So we're taking the tofu, which has a lot of protein. We're adding some fiber and phytonutrients with the tomatoes and garlic and spinach, and we're going to saute that until it's nice and fragrant and soft. And now let's change that flavor profile by adding a little bit of prepared pesto into this. And just incorporating that until the tofu is lightly coated. And then we're going to turn that off and we're going to decorate it with some pine nuts and a little bit of green onion. So upping the plant content, changing the flavor profile of just some plain tofu with that prepared pesto, which makes it really easy. You can store the rest of the pesto in your refrigerator. And it's good for, I really feel like it's good for a few weeks. All right, enjoy. 3 ingredients, and it's tofu, it's tomatoes and spinach. And now I'm gonna change the flavor profile by adding a little bit of cumin to that. And then we are going to add some prepared salsa. So you're taking up your nutritional content by adding more vegetables and more flavor. Then we're going to take a little bit of diced avocado on there right at the end. And then finally, some pumpkin seeds. So let's go ahead, and then we're going to put this on a plate with a corn tortilla, which actually is considered a whole grain. And that will be your breakfast. Enjoy. And it is just amazing that you can just change those flavor profiles by just changing up the spices and herbs.